1956. More importantly to me and my brothers and sisters is he met our mother there at Morgan State. And as I've said, without Morgan State, I do not exist. And that's the truth. Jai, who got your scholarship, you run for SGA president. My father was SGA president, you do that. You know, we lost my father when I was very young. He was 33 years old. I was 7. And those folks who've gone to Morgan State, I think you ought to know what kind of man he was, what you put out, what you produced. He was a distinguished military graduate like myself. He was in the United States Army. He got his commission, served about 13 or 14 years. Had 5 kids, but along with that, even on an officer salary back in the day when we were down in Columbus, Georgia, down in Fort Benning, he went into business, built a house, built a laundromat. He was an entrepreneur. He has left a great legacy through his children. I don't talk about myself because, trust me, as far as accomplishments go, I am the least of my father's children. All right? But that's the kind of man that he was. I'm not going to talk about myself all that much because I'm not quite sure why I'm deserving of this award, although trust me, I'm going to take it. But I like to think about those folks without whom I could not receive anything. First, of course, is my father and my mother, who is here, who also left Oregon. Although I won't say she didn't graduate right then and there. You know, back in the day, they got married. He was a couple years older, so they went off, and then she ended up finishing up at another HBCU, Bowie State. I've been one blessed man in my life. My heroes lived in my house. My examples lived in my house. I didn't have to look out. And I love Jim Brown, Nolly, and all of them, but they ain't my heroes. Okay, the people I patterned my life after, my father, whose influence still is with me today, my mother, my brothers, my sisters. And as we get older, brother-in-laws, sister-in-laws, everybody, you know, no matter what I do, I can steal a line from Michael McKenna. No matter how high I get, I'll always be looking up to them. Always. Later on in life, get to have my twins, my pride and joy, Tony and Dominique, they're here. My inspiration. But let me not get off this stage before I say a couple more things. One, anything that I have done here in Charles County as the state's attorney, I really have to give a lot of credit to one person. She's here today too. Ms. Karen Piper Mitchell. She is the Deputy State's Attorney here in Charles County. Karen, stand up, come on. And I have to say, trust me, anything I'm doing in that office and keep it running, she's really doing it. I'm just taking the credit. And I think her husband Joe, because of all the time and effort she puts in there, he's making that sacrifice. So I appreciate your job, really do. There's another couple ladies that I need to talk about here. I'm talking about a lot of ladies in my life, ain't I? Mrs. Sadler, my mother's best friend. Her husband, Wellington Sadler, they've been married longer than I have been alive. She is my second mother, and I love her to death. And Colonel Sadler Wellington could not be here, my father's best friend. We love him, and I thank you so much. Also, Ethel May Delahousse, my mother-in-law, my third mother, I suppose. You know, I'm not one of those guys who has mother-in-law jokes, okay? She has been guiding me for over 30 years and helping me out, and I appreciate that. And that brings me to her offspring. Anything that I've done in my adult life, I owe to this person. It is like yesterday, well, actually like 5 minutes ago, I remember when I met her. You don't believe me? August 27, 1981. I knew she existed at 10:35 in the morning. Dr. Edward Jackson, chief of the Political Science and History Department, was teaching the class Constitutional Laws, first day of class. And he was taking roll. And he called this name out in this voice that touched me. spoke up. And again, I'm into music, so I remember old Stevie Wonder's line, until the day I heard you speak, I didn't know that sound was sweet. Now, unfortunately, how I was positioned in class, I really couldn't see her. I'm breaking my neck and everything else. I said, I'm going to have to wait around. And so I'm standing out in the hallway when she comes out. And she's got the tight Jordan-ass jeans on. We're talking 1981, you know, so tight that you had to have your girlfriend help put them on. And a t-shirt. I told you, I remembered it like it was 5 minutes ago. I'm standing down the hallway, and she comes out, and I'm looking at her. Yeah. I was 19 years old, and I heard this voice, and then this shape. I'm 19 years old. So you know what I was thinking? No, you're wrong. I was 19 years old, and I saw this vision, and my hand to God, I said to myself, self, you're going to make her your wife. Now, for any of you who know me, I'm a much better person, much more mellow than I used to be. So way back then, I was probably pretty much of a jerk, okay? So I had a lot of work to do. Because I can tell you, the feeling was not mutual at that moment. So I had to work. And eventually, not too long, I don't know, a year or so, I heard, I got you. I know, I'm just giving a love story here. I heard her say, I love you too. And that made my life. Let me tell you something. Because of her, with her by my side, everything that I've done has been because of her. More than that. When she wasn't by my side, she was standing behind me on one leg. Why? Because the other foot was in my behind. Tell me to do what I need to do. But even more than that, and more important than that, there were times when she was in front of me, leading the way, pulling me, kicking and screaming, because I didn't want to go where I knew I needed to go. Leah Church Delvin Tadella, who say my wife, the love of my life, thank you for being with me. I thank God for you every day. Thank God for you. Thank you for the stage and this great honor.